Welcome to the party, pal!
I'm here. I made
Woo!
it. It took a while, but I'm here.
How was the nap?
Good. Good. I'm good. I'm up and ready.
All right. Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
This is a podcast by us, the Loomer brothers. I'm Preston Loomer.
I'm Nathan Loomer.
And we talk about movies. And after our Spider-Man Spectacular, we got like way too into comic books again. And decided to keep on the comic train.
Keep going. We're keeping it going. All
So
year.
we are doing the 7 original Marvel films that weren't in the MCU.
Yes.
So Daredevil, Blade, X-Men, Ghost Rider, Fantastic Four. Oh gosh, what are the other two?
Did you say Hulk already?
Hulk and Punisher.
Punisher. Okay.
Yeah. We're not doing
That's the one I
sequels.
forget to.
We're not doing any sequels or spin-offs, so you won't see Silver Surfer, you won't see Elektra, you won't see Ryan Reynolds in Blade 3.
Sorry, people. Sorry,
You
everybody.
won't see that other Punisher movie.
No, you won't.
All of it.
Oh,
Yep.
Good.
And
I'm
I
very
think
excited.
we just go worst to first.
Oh God, that's hard. It's not that hard. I know what my worst is.
I do too. So you
wanna
go.
say it on the count of 3, and we'll see who.
Okay, I'll see if we're the same. Ready?
Yeah. 1,
1,
2.
2, 3. Fantastic
Punisher.
Four.
Oh no! Oh, it's not the same.
Not the same. All right, we can do Punisher.
We can do Punisher. Okay, good. Okay, got my movies up.
Yeah, Punisher came out in 2004. Starred
Yeah.
Thomas Jane as Frank Castle, who's a guy whose whole family is murdered, and he goes around basically killing people to punish them for.
Punish them.
He's like the opposite of Batman. Like
Yeah.
Batman lost his parents, and this guy lost everything but his parents.
His parents and decided to just go on a rampage. One other thing, like, you know, if he does kill the people who killed his family, is he kind of done? Is my
See, that's what you'd think. But he's not the revenge guy. He just punishes criminals. Like, I've never fully understood Punisher.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's there. He's essentially, in my mind, what if Batman had a gun?
Yeah.
That's like the whole bit. And I know a lot of douchebags use him as like he's the best hero because he's the one who kills people, and people are like, you don't understand how Punisher works.
Oh my gosh. No, I love it. I see a lot of like people who support cops have it, and I'm like, you know, he literally kills cops in the comic.
Yeah, he like goes out and kills cops who are corrupted, right?
Corrupted. That's his thing.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
They just changed his logo. I think they're getting tired of people using it the wrong way.
That's good.
But the biggest issue I have with this movie is that everybody in this movie is better than this movie lets them be.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I agree.
Except Rebecca Romaine, who actually gives a pretty solid performance.
Yeah.
Which is surprising. She's in 2 of these movies.
Oh
How
my
they pulled that off, I don't know.
I thought, when I looked at the cast list, I forgot. I remember John Travolta. I forgot Thomas Jane was even the Punisher.
Yeah.
Samantha Mathis as like Maria Castle, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm on. I just completely forgot. I went, oh my God, it's Daisy. She's in this movie.
Yeah. I forgot that Ben Foster was like the weird dude with all the piercings.
Yeah.
Or, they had so many like that guy actors.
Mm-hmm.
And it just didn't make sense.
I think why I put it on my worst is because it just felt very. There was no like, I don't know. It just felt very jumbled to me. It's almost jumbled up the bunch of like.
Yeah, it was trying to be really cool.
Yeah.
It's never really cool.
It's like murder. I'm mad. Now I'm a Punisher. It's like
Yeah.
I go on then.
And this is my thing. The John Travolta's character makes no sense. His motivations are ridiculous.
He's just a bad guy.
He loses one kid in a botched drug deal, and then kills somebody's entire family. Somebody wasn't even in charge. Like, he was the agent on the scene. He wasn't even the guy who ran the deal.
You're just upset.
Like exactly this is not a person who should be in business. Although then I think about people I know who are like big business people, and I'm like, maybe these people are
people in business.
People in business. I think I figured it out. I think John Travolta has been a good bad guy one time, and that was in Face Off.
Yeah,
because he was just playing Nicolas Cage.
He's playing Nicolas Cage.
Every other time, he's just been like too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree. And although, I mean, I love to see it. It's so bad it's good to me type of thing.
No.
I'm glad it got there for me.
Yeah, there's a couple bits. The Russian's always fun.
The fight scene, the cleaver through the head is I love that. And as far as like Marvel movie, like I was like, oh, I never see that in these type of films.
Yeah.
Like it's straight up did it.
Yeah, I love the popsicle torture scene. I think that's some like brilliance of him describing what it's gonna feel like, and then he sticks the popsicle, and it's like the blowtorch.
So good.
I think that the message of this is that family reunions are just always a disaster. Just don't go to your family reunions because eventually something will go wrong.
Something bad's gonna happen. I don't know, but if this is my worst, there was not a bad one out of the bunch for me, really. Like,
yeah,
so that's nice.
This was my second worst.
Yeah,
and we'll get to my worst in a second. But it was for a very different reason. I think the biggest issue with Punisher is it tries too hard to just be too serious all the time.
All the time, yeah.
And then it has these moments of comedy that like don't work because it's like. I don't know how they were thinking about it, going, that's a joke, right? And throw it in there, and you're like, that joke doesn't work.
I tried to look at all these movies as if they were the setup for the MCU universe, and if this was the big hit, like this is all we'd get.
Like what if they just kept trying in Iron Man's when they finally just got it?
They finally got it.
I get why they would have made Punisher. Punisher is a reasonably popular character.
Yeah.
I always think of the episode of the Spider-Man cartoon where he shows up and they can't use guns in that show because it was a kid's show. So he uses like lasers.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense.
I love that.
He's a very niche hero. I don't think he works for everybody. And the Punisher show that they did on Netflix worked way better.
That's my Punisher. He's the best.
Johnny Bernthal is forever and ever the best.
He's a beautiful man in general, but
is
Punisher.
So Punisher's like, I'll watch it if it's on TV. I probably wouldn't go out of my way to watch it again. For a while. Hey, we did it.
We did it. Now we can vote. I put this as my second least favorite, so that's
Fantastic Four.
This is good.
Here's the problem with Fantastic Four. It's the opposite problem of Punisher. Fantastic Four is a weird comic. It's weird. Yeah. It's stupid weird. They're in space. They're fighting gremlins from the sewers. Like, none of it makes sense. So to ground it in like a real reality, and try to like humanize all the characters who are already really good in the comics. I've read a lot of Fantastic Four. The only thing I've probably read more of is Batman than Fantastic Four, and like they already have that dynamic that like makes them work. And they kind of tried to do that in this, but it didn't. It lost a little bit of everything.
Rewatching, it's very hard to watch Chris Evans as not Captain America after he's been for so long now.
I liked him in this the first time we saw it, and watching it again, I was like, oh man,
it's really bad.
It's some cringy shit.
Yeah.
I love Michael Chiklis though. I think he's great as the Thing.
Yes, the scenes where he is dealing with being the Thing are the best scenes in the whole movie.
Yeah, and that's the whole comic book. Is essentially the Thing is like the reminder for them that this isn't like a blessing.
Yeah,
it's like a responsibility, and Reed trying to like fix the Thing is one of the biggest themes in the comics. But the issue is it just doesn't go weird enough. It never pushes that boundary. Like Doctor Doom in this is way too realistic.
He's so tame. He's so like
that dude is like a mustache twirling Eastern European dictator.
Yeah,
And he's just like got none of that in this. He's just like a sleazy. He's just Trump with a manicure. Like doesn't work.
Does he come back for the sequel? Is that the same?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the second one's the same dude. He steals Silver Surfer's powers.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
That one does go weird, but it's just an awful movie.
It goes weird, and they tried to do Galactus without really doing Galactus, and I just hope. Everyone's banking on, like, I've seen like 4 fan theories now. They want Keanu to be the Silver Surfer.
I want it so bad if you said it. Oh my god.
I was like, Keanu would be great. Mostly because the Silver Surfer can be an emotionless drone and it would totally work.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. This has 2 Wilhelm screams in it. Magic.
Guys, I love it.
I count Wilhelm screams in every movie. The only movie I've seen that has more is The Hobbit.
Oh my god.
The Hobbit has at least 2, maybe 3.
I forgot that. I really don't. Oh, that makes me so sad.
Yeah. I think my biggest issue, the why I put it at the bottom, is just everybody's like a toned down version of themselves. Mm-hmm. The Torch isn't douchey enough. Reed's not smart enough. Sue's not like grounded enough.
So lame to me in this. I forgot how boring Reed's the most boring character of the bunch, and he's the leader.
I genuinely think that Reed needs to be, if you're gonna do him right, do him like he's OCD. Like he has to get it right. And if he can't, it causes him to have a breakdown. Yeah. And that's the whole metaphor of he's being stretched too thin, hence the stretchy powers. Their powers are a reflection of their character. Reed's being stretched too thin. Sue's being ignored. Johnny's like a hothead. Ben is carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders.
I have never put that together, and I love that so much.
Here's a hint. If you want to go watch a good Fantastic Four movie, go watch The Incredibles.
Yeah.
It's the best Fantastic Four movie on the planet.
Yeah. Don't watch the... It's sad. This is still the best Fantastic Four movie of the 1994 and the new remake are worse than this.
I went and rewatched the remake after this, and it's not as bad as I remember, but it's still worse than this movie.
It's just because that one's really boring.
That one's so dull.
A drag.
Well, and if you listen, I watched an interview with Josh Trank, who directed it, and he said basically the only thing about the Fantastic Four he didn't like was everything that happened after they got their superpowers. And I was like... wait a minute, what?
That you should not be a director for this.
You should not direct this movie. Because I'm going to be real. The least interesting thing about the Fantastic Four is how they get their superpowers.
Yes.
It's all the stuff they do after that. Like the MCU's way of skipping origin stories would work great for them.
Which is, it's so sad that they can't get it right because they have almost like all my favorite Marvel villains. They have, pretty much. Yeah. They kind of have Galactus. He shows up a lot in there.
Galactus is big for them. Doom is Doom.
Doom is Doom, and the Scroll, the
Super Scroll.
The Super Scroll is
Super Scroll would be cool. Favorites. Yeah, I think aside from Magneto, most of the best villains are the Fantastic Fours.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's just like it doesn't quite work out.
No.
Like it wants to be more than it lets itself be. Mm-hmm. And I think they started to try that in the second one, but they didn't push it far enough again.
Yeah.
And then basically shut down, said, let's try a hard, like, DC-style reboot where everything's dark and dreary. And that was completely the wrong choice. So here we are.
Well,
hopefully, John Watts, MCU.
One more take. The 4th take, we're going to get it right. That's it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Technically, it's 5. Because they made that 90s one that nobody saw. But I was not a big fan of Fantastic Four. I actually liked it. I think I hated it more this time than I had in the past. And I think it's only because I haven't watched it in probably 10 years.
Yeah. I had nostalgia with it and I forgot.
I was like, that moment was more fun in my head.
Yeah.
Than it. This takes that stupid Toad joke from the X-Men and blows it and does it like 4 times.
Yeah.
With all the like, do you know what happens to rubber when it's super cool? And I'm like, stop making science jokes.
Yeah, we get it. We get it. God. Oh, this is one where go read the comic books. It's one of the best comic books of all Marvel.
Like one of the best Stan Lee comics. Like if you're gonna read them, start like at the beginning. Because it actually is really good out the gate.
which is so funny because the movie that started the MCU, Iron Man, has probably my least favorite comic. so back and forth.
I'm trying to think if it was no. Well, no. There's a movie in here that I like less than Iron Man.
Oh, okay.
Comic book wise.
Comic wise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We've done 2 of 7.
2.
Now I gotta think. Okay,
hold
on.
This.
Hold on. I know what it is.
You know? Do you want to do it? Want to do the honor?
Hold on. Let me double check. I made a list.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Ghost Rider.
That's right.
Ghost Rider. It was the only, and I'll tell you, it was almost Daredevil, but I have the director's cut, which is way better.
Oh no! You should have told me that.
I don't know how I got the director's cut, but yeah, Ghost Rider. I'm gonna say this about Ghost Rider: Nicolas Cage is perfect.
He's perfect. He's the only thing in this movie that's perfect.
He tries so hard to be introspective too. I was reading up, he's like, they wanted him to be like a chain smoking, just like surly badass, and he's like, I want to take it in a more like introspective man dealing with his demons idea, and I was like, why does that work so well?
I'm chill at that. I'm very. No,
he's the right guy because he can do the chill like deep thing, but then when he goes nuts, he just goes nuts.
He just goes nuts. If I was saying, if there's a multiverse movie where random characters come in, if Nicolas Cage pops in, Daredevil would be like, or sorry, Ghost Rider would be like my number 1.
If Nicolas Cage popped in as Daredevil, I'd be even more stunned. Yeah. This also is one of 2 Sam Elliott's. Sam Elliott's in 2 of these movies also.
As well. Forgettable I'm sorry, I love Sam Elliott. He's always forgettable for me though in most movies, and which is
he's just like, I'm a tough guy with a voice solo that Preston can't imitate it, so he's not gonna try.
Oh my gosh!
Honestly, this is my issue, is that everyone's overplaying it in this. Like, it works works for Cage,
yeah,
but Peter Fonda and Wes Bentley are trying to match his energy, and they just can't.
No.
And Peter Fonda's a fun nod because he was in Easy Rider, so he's like a motorcycle
tough guy.
Cameo. You know, he was in that other motorcycle movie everybody knew.
Yeah.
And they did Blackheart, which I think is cool because Blackheart's like a really cool villain. I liked a lot of the like imagery, and I really liked the elemental demons. I thought those guys were a cool idea.
I actually thought the villains looked really cool.
Yes,
they're one of the better parts. So yeah, what you said about that. I have to watch the sequel now, though.
I've seen it. It's real bad.
That's like the only Marvel movie I haven't seen now,
it's so bad, man. I pity you. Okay, so take Nicolas Cage's version of this and just cut the subtlety out of it. He's insane from start to finish in that movie.
Oh no.
And the villain's more forgettable than anything I've ever seen.
And I know I'm on a Nicolas Cage tie because of Pig right now, and so
dude, Pig was so good. Pig deserved more. Don't watch Ghost Rider, watch Pig.
Watch Pig. We need everyone watch Pig.
I think the problem is the movie couldn't decide if it wanted to be a superhero film, a horror film, or a western film. Yes. And it tried to do all of them. And it didn't do any of them in the process.
No.
And I think if it had just picked a genre, like this is a western movie with a superhero, like a demon twist to it that you could have made work.
I think it could have worked.
Yeah.
In a modern day MCU, Ghost Rider could be really good.
Yeah.
I keep almost calling him Daredevil because that's what he literally is in this movie. So like,
I got a Daredevil joke coming up. Don't worry about it.
Oh my god.
No, and I think like some of the stuff they do, the CGI actually looks okay still. Like, I mean, it's obviously CGI, but it doesn't look terrible. The penance stare that he does, the way they film that and show the eyes like blacking out, looks really cool.
Yeah.
And I like the way that at the end where he can't do it to Blackheart until he absorbs all the souls. And then it's like 1,000 souls worth of sin.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It goes hard in some good places that I like. Yeah.
There are some high moments, but there are also some definite not great moments. The comedy is bad.
Comedy's terrible.
And Cage's accent is real interesting.
I forgot because I always just hear Nicolas Cage in my head, like be Nicolas Cage. So when I watch it, like that's
trying to do a southern thing. It just didn't work.
It doesn't do it.
It's worse than it's almost worse than his Con Air accent, which was pretty bad.
Oh God.
And Rebel Wilson's in this movie for like 2 seconds.
Oh, that's right.
It's the goth girl he saves.
Yeah.
So many fun things.
Okay, please, Marvel, bring him back though. I will.
If you haven't seen the version they do on Agents of Shield, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. For that one season, he shows up for a couple times, and they keep saying they're going to bring that guy back, and then they haven't. I don't know. So
Agent of Shield has been a mess.
It's over now.
Yeah, but I mean, like them incorporating it into the new stuff has been a mess.
I get some feeling that they're just trying to like start fresh with a lot of that. We got Daredevil back. We got Kingpin back. It'll come.
We're good. We're making our way.
Making our way downtown.
I'm sorry I did that.
I'm not.
All right. I probably would have swapped my next one. I would have swapped Daredevil with Ghost Rider.
See, okay, so I'll explain why, because it was close.
Yeah.
The Daredevil, the director's cut adds more lawyering.
Okay.
And it's an R-rated version, so it's a little grittier.
Do I have to rewatch this movie now?
No, don't worry about it. They add a scene. Coolio's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me why it's Coolio. He's like some guy who's accused of drug deals, and basically they're doing the case, and then Matt gets so caught up in being Daredevil that Foggy Nelson has to like do all the work and ends up saving the day. So it's just got more nuance to it.
It's not just a superhero movie.
The stuff that works still works, and the stuff that doesn't still doesn't.
Yeah. It's not them just trying to do Spider-Man, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah. This is what it feels like some of the time.
The problem with the movie is everything that has to do with Elektra. Elektra does not work in this movie. If it was just Kingpin, Bullseye, Daredevil, it would have been fine.
How did she get the spin-off? Like, I don't understand. I mean, she's arguably the worst character in this whole film.
Jennifer Garner was huge at the time. You have to remember, like,
Alias.
Early 2000s, Alias was like the show.
Yeah, that's true.
So this was big.
Oh, that's another movie I'm glad we didn't have to watch.
Yeah. Here's my favorite fun fact, because Ben Affleck has played both of these parts. Mm-hmm. If you told me that there was a guy who ran around at night beating the shit out of people and doing death-defying leaps off of buildings, and that there's another guy who used sonar to see, and you told me one of them was Batman and one of them was Daredevil, and it wasn't the way that it ended up being, I wouldn't believe you for a second.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Like, it makes no sense.
Jeez, I didn't even think about that. Oh god. I like him better as Batman though, because I don't like him in this. I really don't.
No, he's not good in this.
I don't know. I know it's.
He's trying.
He's trying. It's weird to see Jon Favreau as an actor in this.
Yeah, Favreau's actually pretty good in this one.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's like...
I think here's the problem: is that now that the show's come out, like same thing with the Punisher. Yeah. Like the show is infinitely better,
miles away.
The only thing I think is more interesting in this is Bullseye, just because they let Colin Farrell chew scenery to no end.
He's the best villain. Out of all these movies we watched, he's my favorite villain.
Yeah, he's fantastic, and Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin is also I mean, when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, the dude's 9 feet tall. He's solid muscle. Like
he is perfect for
That's the guy.
God. So yeah, watch this movie for the villains. It's really my big takeaway for people. So
yeah. You will be everybody. Everybody will be Bullseye on the airplane.
Yeah.
When the old lady's just talking your ear off about stuff you don't care about.
I guess my big thing with with these movies is how quickly rushed origins are. Mm-hmm. This is just like he was a kid. He was in the alley. Toxic waste got on him. He's Daredevil, and that's all we get. We don't get a little bit more.
Director's cut expands.
Oh,
there's like a 10-minute backstory. Yeah, you gotta go see. I'm gonna let you borrow the one I've got.
Okay, I don't even know why I'm talking because I'm mad.
It's fine. It's fine. No, in the theatrical, I had to go back and rewatch the theatrical afterwards because I was like, oh, this is really awful. I do love the fan theory that Daredevil and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were the same accident.
Yes.
That the stuff that splashed him was what got in the sewers.
Oh, I forgot. Oh my gosh, how much I love that.
Yeah. And the way they do the radar hearing is really cool in this, where it kind of pings in and out. And
yeah,
I think like Daredevil's a cool hero. I think he's a hard hero to do right.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a really hard hero to do PG-13 because he's just so brutal.
Yeah, he has to be, and that's that's why the show works.
That's why, the second they did that second episode with the hallway fight in the show, I was like, this is the way, this is the one.
Yeah. Oh my god, actually, it's so weird how well Daredevil, Spider-Man, and Ninja Turtles work for me in my head if they were all on the same thing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Do you know this is the same director as Ghost Rider?
Mm-mm.
This guy, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how they got this guy to do 2 movies because they're both terrible.
Give him another one. One more shot, guys.
No!
Oh, they gave him Electra too. No, never mind.
He's had his chance.
Get out of here, dude. Get out of here.
Zack Snyder, he will not be.
Oh my god. Love it.
Yeah, when you finally figure out that the reason Zack Snyder's movies are bad is because the studio won't let him just do a 9-hour.
Just do it.
I watched the dude Justice League. It was really good.
Give me like a 10-hour long Justice League. He's
like, let's do Darkseid and Desaad, and everyone's just like, yeah, let's do it. It's weird as hell. No one's gonna understand it. Let's go.
I love it.
This also has 3 Evanescence songs somewhere in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you didn't want to think this was your emo, edgy fantasy movie, let's just put more Evanescence into it.
They're definitely trying. Definitely trying.
And then they were on the radio. Everyone was like, this metal band is like pop culture.
Yeah.
For a while.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, so much.
Now we start getting to the good movies.
Now we've got 3 movies I like.
Yes.
Okay. I know my top 2, which means that we're gonna have to go with this one.
Which one?
Blade.
Okay.
Blade.
Yeah. That's good.
How is this the first Marvel mainstream movie? Like how? What? You've got all these characters. Who is like Blade? Let's do the vampire killer guy.
The comic that I don't know many people have read Blade.
I don't think I've ever read an actual Blade comic.
Yeah.
I've read comics with Blade in them, but I don't think he was ever like the title. No.
I love Wesley Snipes though so much.
He's so good.
And the fact that it took me so long to watch this movie that I saw him be cameo as Blade in like a million things before I saw actual Blade. People loved him.
The Blade episode of the Spider-Man cartoon is also weird. Because he shows up to hunt Morbius and it makes no sense.
Well, that's not good. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's just there's so many like crazy things in this one. I think as a trilogy, it's actually not horrible.
No, not terrible.
But yeah, the first one, the whole idea of like he's gonna try to become a vampire god, and the Blade's got to stop this guy, and they do a good job of kind of explaining it, but it doesn't feel like a comic book movie.
No, it feels like an action vampire movie. That's
action
all
horror flick. Yeah. I do love the sunscreen thing. I thought that was super clever. Of if the vampires cover themselves in sunscreen, they can go out in the daylight for a little bit.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
We get the Blade pose.
Get the Blade
iconic
superhero landing.
Yeah.
Call it the squirrel pose.
Squirrel pose. Oh my god.
There's a lot of like really cool isms. All the vampires are really cool. The way that works out. I love the way the opening with the bloodbath like club.
Yeah.
And then Wesley Snipes just like not giving a fuck.
No, he's not.
Great.
That's why I like it so much.
Yeah,
because he's just there. Actually, it's the first movie that I'll say I love the costume design. Actually, I know it's just like kind of emo, but Blade's main outfit is so cool.
It looks freaking sweet. Yeah,
it looks so sweet.
He's legitimately cool. Like the second he enters, you're like, that dude's awesome.
That dude, I want to be that dude.
I want to be that guy. That guy's really cool. And even like Chris Christopherson as Whistler. That's a weird casting choice that works really well.
I really like it. Yeah, I really liked him in this.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see what they do with because I know Mahershala Ali's now Blade, and I think he's gonna be pretty good.
I'm very excited about that. After rewatching this one, I'm excited for a new Blade. I want another Blade.
I think Blade's one of the most overlooked characters. I think like we forget that Blade
of course
is around.
Is around.
And
I thought it was just a movie when I was a kid. I didn't think it was a comic. So
yeah, that's the same. I don't think I ever knew it was a comic book until I was like in my almost 20s.
Yeah.
Probably because, horror comics were not like a thing we read as children.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think Mom would have let us have vampire books.
No, probably not. The director of this movie is one of my favorite directors that I didn't even know.
Oh, yeah?
The lead of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and he did something else. I know he was in Return to Oz, not as an actor, not as a director. So kind of sad. But I guess that's it. He only directed 4 movies. Okay, but anyways,
but he's in movies you like.
Gentlemen. So
that's on my like so bad it's good list.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people don't like that movie. I think it's great.
Yes.
I think of all of these, this might be the best paced movie of the bunch. Like it feels like everything's purposeful. Nothing goes too fast or too slow. They do a good job of like letting the things that need to have time.
Yeah.
And it's all about vampire racism, which is...
We don't get that. We just get vampires killing and making jokes now.
Yeah. It's like, oh no, these vampires are less good than these other vampires.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And if you want actually a good action movie, this is the one to watch. Good fight scenes and stuff.
Honestly, like, they get worse as they go along, but all 3 of them are okay.
Yeah.
The third one's negotiable.
I remember 2 being pretty on par with this one.
Well, 2 was Del Toro, so 2 was Guillermo.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and then the third one, I don't know who did the third one, but that was the one with Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel.
That's right.
Ryan Reynolds flings out my favorite insult in that movie that I can't say on here because I just want to keep it family friendly.
Yeah. Man, God, Ryan Reynolds, before he became famous, was in the most weirdest stuff. Like
Ryan Reynolds has been in 4 comic book things, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he was in that. He was in that. He was in the Wolverine Origins movie as Deadpool. He was in Green Lantern, and then he was in the Deadpool movies.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, did it.
And I said it back when Wolverine Origins came out. I was like, I don't care what you say about this movie. Ryan Reynolds was perfect.
It's perfect. Until they
sewed his mouth shut.
Until they made him not act.
Yeah. And then they let him come back and do what he was supposed to do. And I was like, see, I was right from the beginning.
The whole time. Love it.
All right. We've got
the top 2.
The top 2. I know my number 1.
I'm glad we both agreed on it, but I'm very scared. But
I know my number 1
because my number 2 is Hulk.
Okay, my number 2 is X-Men.
Oh,
we can go Hulk.
Okay.
We talk Hulk.
Audience know this. We disagree. We disagree.
We disagree sometimes.
We disagree. We do.
The reason I put Hulk first is because this time watching it, I was like, this is the most comic book movie.
Yeah.
Like, the shots, Ang Lee is so good at what he does.
Yeah. I love that they gave this man a movie. Like, we want Spider-Man. He's like, I'm not going to give you Spider-Man.
I'm going to give a deep, introspective look at childhood trauma.
Yes.
And how it affects you. And, like, as a kid, I can see, like, why me being 13 was like, this is weird and I don't get it. Yeah. Hulk's not punching enough stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because Hulk was probably the comic I was reading a lot as a kid. Yeah. I don't know why. I just like Hulk. Watching it as an adult, I was like, oh, this is the most nuanced, grounded, and best like developed character of any of them. I want Eric Bana's Hulk back. Like,
yeah, I like him a lot.
I love it.
He's probably my second favorite Hulk now. It probably goes him, New Hulk, and the Middle Hulk.
Yeah, Ruffalo's leaks.
Ruffalo's, yeah.
Like, forget it. Ruffalo's perfect.
He's perfect for the Hulk.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, I like that. I like Nick Nolte.
I still say this movie looks good for the most part. The Hulk looks great in some shots, in a lot of shots.
Yeah. Like, yeah, he's big and like a green bouncing ball, but like, he actually looks like still like a person.
Yeah.
Like, you believe he's there. Whereas the new CGI Hulks, I don't always like feel that same way.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And we get my favorite Hulk fight scene, Hulk versus the dogs, which is the best Hulk fight scene there's been ever.
It's so ridiculous, and I love it.
I love it so much.
I said what I say right now. I said, oh, this is a new way to do dogfight.
It is.
You have Josh Lucas as the perpetual douche.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever seen a movie where that guy was not like a douchebag.
No, he's gotta be. I love typecasting for specific people.
I just want a No Way Home with Hulk now. I want Eric Bana and Lou Ferrigno to like pop through.
That was
and
the
Bana,
meme I saw.
Bana's like the big green thing, and Lou Ferrigno's just running around in shorts.
Oh my god,
smashing shit,
smashing stuff. Yes. Oh, Lou Ferrigno in a multiverse.
Oh
He just looks exactly the same. He's like the lamest Hulk because he's like in the bodies.
Yeah, and technically, I think the Norton Hulk is kind of a sequel to this one.
Yeah, it kind of.
They kind of imply that like he's living in Brazil, and Hulk in this one went to Brazil, so there's like a loose connection.
Yeah. You can argue that all three are connected. We just didn't see what happened.
It's true. It's true.
But no, this is a movie that Sam Elliott is great in. I forgot it was him again, but
yeah,
he is great as the kind of villain. I know the dad. I was looking for the name of the character. It's literally just named Father. Is the villain?
Yeah, it's I don't remember Dad Banner.
Nick.
He's the absorbing man.
Yeah,
essentially, he's not the actual like comic book one, but they just took that character and made him this guy.
Yeah, which what a cool thing to grab that weird of a villain.
Well, and that whole thing of at the end where they like to say, "I want your power," and Bruce is like, "Good, I don't take it.
Want it." Oh,
yeah, and then it's too much power to contain. Like that's such a thing.
Ooh. Yeah,
and I think Jennifer Connelly's better as Betty Ross than Liv Tyler was.
Yeah, no, a lot better. I forgot they replaced her, and that made me sad.
Yeah, well, she's Karen now. She's Spider-Man's. Right. She was Spider. Well, I guess I guess that's dead too now. Thanks, No Way Home.
Shoot. Okay. Yeah, you're
Karen.
Right.
Man, Karen's out.
So, well, can't have everything.
Yeah.
But this is great. This is a great ride. Origin. This is a full origin movie. That's all it is.
I do think that I would love to see a Hulk done as like a body horror film.
Mm-hmm.
With that sort of like The Fly, where he's like slowly like turning into the thing at some point.
Yeah.
But it just...
I would love that.
Like, it just works, and it looks like a comic book from start to finish.
Yeah.
So...
Which is what he was going for. Good job, Ang Lee. Direct more comic book movies. They probably won't let you.
They won't let you because this one did not do as well as it should have. This is the first DVD I ever owned.
Yeah, we watched the crap out of this.
Oh, yeah, because we had this and Finding Nemo, and we just watched them.
Yeah, this is it. My God, I love Hulk. I love him.
I think Hulk is way smarter than it should be, and I think that if you are one of those people who was like a child when it came out and were like, this is dumb, Hulk doesn't punch stuff, go back and be like, whoa, my traumatized ass is relating hard.
It's literally my like earliest comic book talks of you, where you talk about the Hulk being like, Hulk can't fight villains in movies. It's like Superman. That's not interesting.
Yeah. The thing about the Hulk is it's a time bomb movie. It's he's got the thing in him, and he's doing everything he can not to let it out.
Yeah.
And then he lets it out, and consequences.
It's his own problem.
The best version of the Hulk that they've ever given us is that one in Age of Ultron where he like trashes that South African city.
Yeah.
Against the Hulkbuster, and then like realizes it right at the end before he gets knocked out.
Yeah.
Like that's the best the Hulk has ever come across in terms of us knowing how the Hulk works.
Yes, that's so great. Oh my gosh. Sorry I put him at number 2 though, because I have too much nostalgia.
I get it, man. I was going 1 and 2 for a while.
Oh. I got way too much nostalgia for this first X-Men movie, dude.
First X-Men movie is brilliant.
Really? It's the first comic book movie that works. This came. Wait, did it come out before Spider-Man or after?
Came out before Spider-Man, after Blade. Yeah. So it was Blade, this Spider-Man.
But this one really works as a comic book movie.
Well, and it works because they kind of knew what to keep and what to get rid of.
Yeah.
So they kept the characters more or less. Yeah. They got rid of all the like flashy suits, crazy costumes, over the top dialogue.
But I guess the cartoon at the time was still big, like so people like it was a nostalgia of that to bank on.
Yeah, it was a really safe. And X-Men, you got to remember, 90s 2000s X-Men was the #1 selling comic book like ever. I mean, it was everywhere.
Yeah.
So it totally makes sense that these were the guys that they banked on.
Oh, and man, what a lineup of a cast, though. That's still probably why it's so crazy to me.
I am so glad that the guy who was in Mission Impossible 2 as the bad guy was in Mission Impossible 2 as the bad guy. Because if he wasn't, he'd have been in this, and we would never gotten Hugh Jackman. And the only thing Hugh Jackman has not right with character of Wolverine is that he's about a foot too tall.
Foot too tall. A little too tall for me.
That's it.
Next time we cast one, get a smaller dude. But that's
I still love the Danny DeVito for Wolverine petitions.
Oh my god. Yeah.
So I just go in and I start slashing.
Oh my god! You put Danny DeVito in any role, like it doesn't. It just becomes golden.
He's one of my top like 5 Batman villains ever. So you know,
this is one of my first Hollywood crushes. Halle Berry as Storm.
Oh,
yeah, I love her in this movie.
Halle Berry's great. She has the worst line in the whole movie, but she's great.
Oh yeah, and I wait for it every time.
That goddamn Toad joke. Just...
Oh my god.
And I'm like, the first time I think the first time I saw it, because I was around like 10 or 11, I thought that was the funniest freaking line on the planet. And now I'm like, that's so stupid.
One of the funniest things is how long the joke takes to set up. Like she's like charging up this electrical blast for like a minute. You're like, you know what happens to Toad? You're like, what? Just sitting there like, what are you gonna say? Say it.
And then it's a non-punchline.
Yeah.
It's yeah. Oh man.
God.
But speaking of Toad, I think Ray Park as Toad was freaking awesome.
He's so underrated actor.
He took that character from like a C-list X-Men villain to like someone that you're like, whoa, Toad's cool.
Toad's the coolest.
Toad with like kung fu skill.
And now he's gone again. I forgot about him until I rewatched this movie every time. I get it.
This was just after he did Darth Maul too. So like he was having a run there for a minute.
Mm-hmm. For a hot second.
Well, because he did that, and then he did Snake Eyes in the G.I. Joe movies.
He was in the Mortal Kombat sequel. So
that's right. Yeah, Ray Park's basically been anytime they need a white guy who can do karate.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's karate. It's probably one of the other martial arts, but they need a guy who's a martial artist who is white. Ray Park's your guy.
Ray Park. Bring him back as Darth Maul, please. I mean, you have, but like
they did,
actually
but like let him fight.
Let him fight. I need it.
Yeah. Also, like Rebecca Romijn is really good. Like I think we like I was going back thinking of like all the models turned actresses that you can think of and how they're all really bad, and I'm like, she's actually good.
Yeah. I think a part of that is she doesn't have many lines. She just gets to move like Mystique.
Yeah. Well, and half the time Mystique's played by somebody else. But
yeah.
But still, for the moment she's got, they work.
Mystique, and it makes me it hurts to watch Jennifer Lawrence be Mystique in the new movies because of this stuff. It's so bad in the new one.
The whole thing with Jennifer Lawrence trying to become Mystique and then trying to like be the main character of the series because she was the biggest actor. All of a sudden, just it didn't work.
It's not. Mystique is not the main character. She's cool, but no.
She's good in First Class. She's not so good the rest of the time.
Yeah. Rogue is so interesting. I get why they used her way less in the next 2 movies because you can only do so much with her ability of her touching.
Yeah. But, I think there's a really cool use for Rogue, and because of the way it works out in the comics, she actually ends up like killing Captain Marvel at one point and taking her superpowers.
Yeah,
which is why then Rogue can fly and she's super strong. So now she's like able to do other things besides just be the girl who like sucks people's life forces to death.
Yeah,
but they use her as a point of view character, which is a really cool sort of. She's our like entry point to this crazy world.
Yeah. She doesn't belong in either because of how messed up this is. Yeah.
There's a really good bit in the third one where they talk about the whole thing of she wants to get the cure. And Storm's like, this is not a curse, this is a gift. And it's like, Yeah, the woman who can like make the wind
move
is telling the girl who murders people with her skin that this isn't a bad thing. Like, check your lane. And like James Marsden, I didn't know him before this. Perfect Cyclops.
Perfect Cyclops.
Straight up, like
perfect in Sonic, and gonna be perfect in Sonic 2.
Perfect in Sonic 2. But like he's the most nondescript white guy, and that's what Cyclops needs to be.
Yeah.
Like he needs to be like a white guy. They're like, I can see a guy who looks like every brunette white dude I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And that's
he's the leader. He's the team leader, and we don't like him super much.
He's okay.
He's okay.
He's no one's favorite character. He's probably a bunch of people's favorite character, but
yeah. It's great. I mean, sorry, spoilers for later movies, people, but when he gets killed off later, it's kind of it's cool because you don't really like him because he's just Cyclops.
He hasn't done a whole lot,
But he's like the main X-Men, one of them. And so when he gets killed off right at the beginning of the last movie, it's like, oh dear, that's a big deal, dude.
I'm not big on Famke Janssen as Jean Grey.
Yeah,
I'm also just not big on Jean Grey as a character anyway.
No.
I've never thought she was interesting.
Stop using the same arc. I hate Phoenix.
I gotta go watch. I still haven't seen the new one. I gotta go watch the new one at some point.
I didn't because I felt like I was gonna be bored watching the same X-Men movie.
Yeah, but here's the thing: I liked what's her name from Game of Thrones in the role better than this gal.
Yes, there's a benefit.
Yeah.
I just don't know. God, I'm trying to think. Unless Jean Grey is actually going to like do the comic book stuff, like blow up a planet, don't make her go evil, because then there's no point if you're just stopping her.
Don't even let the Phoenix thing happen. Just let her be Marvel Girl for a while. Let her just be like she's the telepath. She moves some stuff around with her mind. That's all she does.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, like X-Men, I think is one of those ones that works better as a TV series because there's just so much stuff, and because Chris Claremont, who wrote the X-Men, wrote them for like almost 20 years. I mean, he wrote them forever. So he's got all this stuff.
It is my favorite comic book series. Whenever I want to go read a random comic, I grab an X-Men comic.
Yeah.
So
I've always, that's the debate too, is like if they reboot MCU, who's your MCU X team?
Yeah.
And I think about that all the time.
I gotta sit down and think about that now.
Yeah.
Oh, bring back James Marsden.
But we forgot to mention the two best casting.
I mean, of course, I've been saving them.
Patrick Stewart is Professor Xavier.
Yes.
Like, they literally, I believe the story went that he walked into the casting office at Fox, and the producer threw down an X-Men comic, and he just went, "Why am I on the cover of this comic book?" And they were like, "Exactly, do the movie."
Exactly, dude. Oh my gosh, and Ian McKellen.
Yeah, and Ian McKellen is just.
Which is I actually like the new what's his name?
Fassbender. I love Fassbender.
Fassbender is great as well, but Ian McKellen.
I will say Magneto's origin is harder to do now than it was. Like, you got to think, doing Magneto's origin story in the '60s when the Nazis were like 20 years prior, not so hard. Doing it in like 2021 when they're 80 years prior. Yeah. That man is geriatric at this point.
Yes, that man's very difficult.
Like, that is a 90-year-old.
Yes, he's not good.
I think you need to, I just think you need to change it. I think you need to put him in some, like Berlin Wall era. Something or other.
Well, I said that, they're based, because I always get the Martin Luther King and Malcolm X thing.
Yeah.
I said, if you could cast two African-American men as those roles, it'd be great too. I think it would work. I think a civil rights type thing, and they've been through a civil rights type thing. Yeah,
works perfectly. I think there's so many. This is like X-Men is the one when people like, if you want to read political comics, it's been a political comic since the very beginning.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
Literally been about people like fighting for people who hate them.
Yeah.
So
love X-Men,
and it has Tyler Mane as Sabretooth. Or as I like to call him, the scariest goddamn Michael Myers on the planet.
Yes.
I will say this. This is going off topic. The Rob Zombie Halloweens are in no way the best Halloweens. But they have the scariest Michael Myers. He's like 6'9". He can punch through a door. Yeah. So they cast that as Sabretooth. And then I'm sitting there going, this is the best Sabretooth ever. And then I thought back to it. I was like, no, Liv Schreiber is so good in the freaking Wolverine movie.
Yes.
Like the problem with the Wolverine movie is the Wolverine.
It's the Wolverine. I know.
Like everything else around him actually works okay.
It's so out of place. The X-Men series is so hard to watch, and yet at the same time beautiful to watch. So...
It's kind of like Star Trek, where it's like every other one is really good.
Yes.
And then
my favorite one is the second X-Men movie.
Second one's perfect. I can't.
That would have topped like every list for me.
The additions that they made to the second one were so good, and the way that they integrated like the human villain, made more sense. I also really like First Class. I think First Class is like underrated. Yeah, mostly because it has Kevin Bacon in it.
Kevin Bacon is actually love him as the villain.
Kevin Bacon's awesome in that movie.
Oh. Well, we did it. More superhero actors next time.
Yeah. So we're coming back next time. I'm wearing a shirt. A shirt teases it.
Oh my gosh!
It wasn't an accident. I just put
didn't
this
even
on.
notice. Okay.
We're doing Batman not as Batman.
Yes.
So we're doing Keaton, Kilmer, Clooney, Bale, Affleck, and Pattinson movies, but they can't be Batman.
I'm very excited. I'm excited for a pick.
Sorry, Adam West fans.
I'm very sorry for my Christian Bale movie pick. I can't wait to watch it again. You guys will find out.
I'm real mad at you because I had a really good one and you took Bale from me.
I'm sorry.
Maybe afterwards we'll swap.
Yes, we'll just swap them.
We'll just swap the other three. That'll be great. Okay.
Oh.
I don't know whose sign off it is. I think it's me.
Yours. Yeah.
Hey, Nate.
Spider-Man one. Yeah.
You know what happens to a toad when it gets struck by lightning?
What? Come on.
The same thing that happens to everything else.
So good. Golden, dude. Oh,
all right.
I love it. I love you, dude.
Love you, dude. See you later.